Fallout 76 has had quite a tricky time navigating the gaming space its entire time being on the market. From bad controversies to game-breaking glitches, Fallout 76 has failed at every turn. Hello everyone, and welcome back to BGA TV HD, the show where we do gaming commentaries every single week. On today's episode, we'll be delving deep into the problems surrounding Fallout 76 and how Bethesda could have done better to prevent them. To start, let's talk about my experience with the game. I picked it up for about $11 at Bargain Hunt last year, thinking that nothing could go wrong, and how bad could it be? This is the first Fallout game I've ever played, but I'd heard from multiple friends and other online commentators that it was similar to Fallout 4, something that would contribute to its downfall later. I played the game in one of the lucky spots where no major controversies were happening and no rampaging hackers were stealing inventories like right now. So, how does the game hold up when nothing is being broken to the point of no return? Well, it's a really boring game to be honest. The colors were drab, the graphics themselves had something to them that hurt my eyes and gave me a headache after only an hour and a half of gameplay. The building system was convoluted, the story had almost nothing to it, and the enemy design looked uninspired at best, downright laughable at worst. The journey to gather water was perilous and would seem nearly impossible to find in the starter area despite the abundance of trees nearby. The only good thing I'd say about my early game experience was the fact that you could pick from some of the different music tracks they offered through radio stations, but that's nothing new. It was done in games like GTA 5 years before, like in 2013. Great job. It probably says a lot about the overall quality of the game at what I think is the best possible form. I played it for one night and never picked it up again. Now that my personal experiences are out of the way, let's talk a little bit more about the game's first disaster over some bags. Before the game launched, a special, more expensive version of the game was advertised for purchase. This version was called the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. This gave you stuff in-game as well as some real-life collectibles. One of these was a West Tech canvas carrying bag. When players who bought the special version received it, they found that the bag was not canvas, but nylon. As you could probably guess, those people were not happy. Some angrily tweeted at Bethesda for an explanation, and this was their official response. Unfortunately, due to unavailability of materials, we had to switch to a nylon carrying case in the Fallout 76 Power Armor Edition. We hope this doesn't prevent anyone from enjoying what we feel is one of our best collector's editions. The response didn't help things and only added fuel to the fire. Bethesda tried to patch things up by offering 500 atoms for the in-game shop, which equates to $5 in real life. Finally, after even more pushback, Bethesda finalized production plans for replacement canvas carrying bags, so after about a week of heated controversy, it was resolved. Even from my non-business perspective, the situation was mishandled severely. If Bethesda had simply promised the replacement bags, even if it took longer due to the production deals, a lot of this hate and conflict could have been avoided. Another point that could have kept this conflict from boiling over as far as it did, Bethesda shouldn't have tried to sate the hunger of the ripped-off fans with a paltry and incomparable compensation. It only added more fuel to the fire, which just burned brighter until it finally died. With one disaster under their belt, Bethesda pushed forward with Fallout 76, creating new modes, and even recently a subscription service which gave you access to private servers. But first, let's talk about one of these new modes briefly, specifically Nuclear Winter, the game's own battle royale that jumped on the craze as it started to decline in popularity last year. Nuclear Winter is a 52-player battle royale where the players battle for supremacy to become the new overseer of Vault 51. The game mode was free, but pretty unnecessary. The last thing I would think a post-apocalypse RPG needs is a BR mode, but at least it's good, right? In Nuclear Winter, you don't drop in like Fortnite or Apex Legends. Instead, you pick your spawn point from the map itself, and after waiting a period, you spawn in there, similar to how Battlefield works. There is still a closing ring around the map, this time being a nuclear firestorm as opposed to barriers or storms seen in other battle royales. The progress is standalone from the main game, and every match resets everything except for your progress towards becoming Overseer. Overall, the game mode seems to be alright and was one of the more safe additions to the game. The game's overall quality seems to have taken a dive recently, as well as Bethesda deciding to almost give up on the game. It's almost as if they saw that people kept making mods and hacks for it and said, oh well. One of the more recent additions to the game was the Fallout First membership. It costs $100 a year, and one of the biggest features it was supposed to add was giving you private servers, but they weren't exactly private. Your friends could still join it without an invite, and there were even people who weren't on players' friend lists getting into the game. Yikes. Fallout First came under fire recently due to the immense amount of hacks being created and Bethesda's lack of action to combat the hacks. Lots of players have demanded free Fallout First memberships for the problems and inventory loss. Oh yeah, and that one hack that Bethesda didn't do anything about? The one where people could steal your entire inventory, including items bought only with real-world money and your inventory itself? How does a company mess up this badly? Bethesda was once known as a beloved game developer, and while their games have always had a certain amount of bugs, Fallout 76 has brought them down to a notoriously bad game developer in my eyes, and some others' eyes as well. Bethesda could do some real simple things to pull themselves up out of this gutter, like making a good game, listening to criticism, and not banning players who actively search out hacks and report them. Every one of these problems has led to Bethesda shooting themselves in the foot, and while the players are actively getting punished for Bethesda's inaction, the devs are messing around and adding Nuclear Winter because why not? Let's make a little more money off of a shoehorned-in Battle Royale mode. Fallout 76 is a buggy mess that isn't fun, hard on the eyes, drab, and is currently in a state of crisis. Based on the experience during no controversies or no game-breaking hacks, I give this game a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching this episode of BGA TVHT, and goodbye.